Hey, critical analysis, this is your next mastery skills video, and we are going to do this over largely a chapter 8 concept, which had to do with author's bias. So I'll go ahead and make that available now for you. And we're going to go in and we're going to take post-test 1. And this will kind of help summarize and practice the concepts from chapter 8. Here we go. Question 1, what is meant by author bias in writing? So as discussed in chapter 8, bias simply means that an author is expressing their opinion or preference. They are letting you know how they feel about a particular topic, either good or bad, and they'll use words to reflect that. Question 2, which of the following is not one of the ways to recognize author bias in writing? So you do look for fact or opinion and how they're using that. You do look to see if they're using positive or negative language, and you do look for positive and negative aspects. What you don't use is what critics have said about the author. That has nothing to do with the actual writing, if there's bias present in that or not. Question 3, which of the following types of writing is an example when the author bias would be most evident? So that means 3 of these, there should be no bias. Well, in a scientific journal, a newspaper article, and a textbook passage, those should all be unbiased because they should just be giving facts. A newspaper editorial, that is specifically designed for people to express their opinion, so that's when bias would be evident. Question 4, the tone of an author's writing. So if you remember, if you've already watched the chapter 8 videos from week 11 and then week 12, the tone is kind of the words that are being used. So the types of words that an author chooses, they're allowing their mood, their emotions to kind of come through in the writing that they use. Question 5, which of the following is most likely not an example of author bias? So if you look at your choices, a positive movie review, an editorial against gun control, and a political cartoon which is designed to kind of poke fun at certain things or make statements, this is the only one that is not supposed to have bias in it. A textbook definition of something that is supposed to be unbiased. Hence, just textbook, just definitions. Question 6, an objective tone can also be described as, if you've ever heard of someone being objective, you think about like a referee, teachers, like people who are not supposed to not have bias. That means that they are neutral. They are neutral. They have no opinion. That's also what is known as when we say objective. No opinion, straightforward or neutral. Question 7, opinion. An opinion in writing is basically just their point of view, how someone feels. An opinion is not neutral. It's the opposite. It's not objective, and it's not facts. So the only thing that could be there is the expression of a point of view. Question 8, as I read this, we have to determine the attitude. How does the author feel about this? It says big business in the U.S. has both positive and negative aspects. On the one hand, big companies can harness all their resources to compete, which makes it difficult for small businesses to survive. On the other hand, big corporations offer a tremendous amount of jobs to communities across the nation. So in this case here, what they've done is they've listed both the good and the bad. Because they've done both the good and the bad, this will be considered a neutral piece of writing. They didn't just focus on the good or just on the bad. They gave us both sides. And we know that, basically because I just kind of gave you the answer up there, they use the phrases positive and negative. They give on the one hand, and then they give on the other hand to let us know that they're giving us both points of view. And then finally, let's figure out the tone here. With the coming of the Industrial Revolution in the middle of the 18th century, manufacturing was changed dramatically by advances in technology and by the development of the factory system. Replacing hundreds of cottage workers who had turned out one item at a time, the factory system brought together in one place the materials and workers required to produce items in large quantities and the new machines needed for mass production. I don't know about you, but that just seemed pretty straightforward. Like there was not really anything like, oh, it was a great time to live, or oh, this is awful. It was pretty objective. There was really no bias or personal opinions. It was objective and it just explained what was going on. Okay, so that is your post-test 1 for author's bias that goes along with chapter 8 concepts. So I think that helps you all. Talk to you next time.